Hey, welcome into another Whoosh video here with me, Louie. Today, we'll be talking about virtual races, and if you're viewing this, you'll probably know that I just finished up my anti-hero 5K challenge. So, if you're viewing this and you haven't gone and viewed those shorts, make sure to go back and check them out because this is from the final one of that challenge. But let's jump into virtual races. Okay, well, all right, we're back in the office, post anti-hero 5K challenge, all 10 of them in the books. The medal is right here in my hand. We completed them. We'll put this on. That's right, all 10. I know, I feel like I went from 0 to 60 on doing them all, but they are done. Keep an eye out on the What Am I Readings, and you'll see the summaries of those stories coming up. The most recent one happens to be Cosmic Ghost Rider, who is actually on the medal. Well, Ghost Rider is anyway, right here. And kind of covers Frank Castle too, even though I did do a Punisher one. So make sure to go back and look at, check those out if you're interested. But the point of today's video is actually to discuss virtual races, virtual 5Ks, virtual 10Ks, virtual races in general. I've seen them all the way up to full marathons, and just kind of talk about races in general and that. So we've already did the intro, so let's do it. The virtual 5Ks I find to be amazing. Like this challenge here was 10 races. It was $35 for the medal, which is a lot, but you get 10 races out of it, right? Whereas if you did a normal race, you pay $35, you get one race, you might also get a shirt. And this is in no way to downplay the costs of running an actual road race. There's the police details, there's the equipment needed, the services they provide, the food, all of that. And yes, you can get sponsors and then the like to help with those things, but all of that costs money along the way, advertising and so on. Virtual 5Ks, virtual races in general, don't have those issues, right? So I'm not comparing them. I love doing in-person races. To me, there's nothing better than getting in the corral with a group of people, feeling that energy and going to run with them, whether you run at the front of the pack or the back of the pack. Seeing those people, encouraging them encouraging you is amazing. But there's something about a virtual race that gets you to go out and be accountable to no one but yourself. And I think that's totally fine, honestly. This isn't the first virtual race I've done. I have some other ones. I have a virtual half marathon for Disney that's Star Wars related. Every summer, my wife and I, we do the Disney Virtual Shorts, which is a series of 3 races where Disney comes out with a really cool medal and a package, and we buy the package of all of them. This year happened to be Disney treats, so there was Dole Whip, pretzels, Mickey waffles, and I believe a Mickey ice cream. Those were all the medals this year. You got a snack bowl with them. It was really cool. I did it because I love Dole Whip. End of story. But it's hard to say everybody should do them or you should do them. They cost money, right? But I think it's good for me, personally for me, to have these races to do and the accountability, especially to you guys here on the channel. Everyone who watches this, who followed along for the 5K challenge, I felt an obligation to say, hey, I started this, I need to finish it. And it took me a little bit. I started it back in April, and I'm just finishing it now, and it was only 10 races, and if we're being completely honest, I probably did 6 of them in the last 2 weeks. But that's partially due to time and life and whatnot. And part of it was I was training for the Shipyard Old Port Half Marathon, and like I've said before, I didn't want to count that as part of my racing for this. So I kind of put it on hold for almost 2 months while I was starting to amp up the mileage there. It didn't seem fair, so I didn't do it. And I'm totally okay with that being a thing because I got to do it a lot now, and the weather is gorgeous, and getting out there and doing it now was just absolutely, absolutely phenomenal for me. Genuinely an amazing experience to go out there and do it in this weather and finish it up. And like I said, to have this here and to do it was awesome. I genuinely felt great going out there to do it, and it did help me because I'm running the Devil's Chase, which is 6.66 miles. I know I've pumped that before on here, and it's not going away. I have another 11 days before that is over. Be on the lookout for a video right here about that race. It's one of my favorite ones I've ever run. I've only run it one other time. Yeah, words. But it is amazing. I don't know if I've told this story on the channel before, so if I have and you've heard it, my apologies. If I haven't, the one time I did run it, there happened to be a Grim Reaper who was also running it, and he happened to be handing out roses with predictions of like how you would die, and I got one, and my prediction was I think like sometime in 2043, decided to become a vigilante and was shot immediately. So I was like, that checks out. That would be my luck. That would be exactly how that would happen. And I can't laugh at it more than that, you know? Like it's phenomenal. It was so good, and genuinely it made my entire race just to have that from the get-go. I started running and I handed it off to my wife. But that's not what we're here for. Again, tangents today. But virtual races, right? Big thing I started to do during COVID to hold myself accountable was to get virtual races. I was like, if I get this, I have to run it and I have to stick with it. And to be completely honest, it worked for a little bit and then it fell off. And now having this channel is what helps keep me accountable by signing up for these, showing them off to all of you and saying, I'm doing this to hold myself accountable, to show all of you that I'm holding myself accountable. Here's the proof of times. Here's the proof of the runs. And it's been great. So thank you to everyone who's tuned into those and check them out. And I genuinely like doing the virtual runs. You can find a lot of really fun, really cool themed ones along the way too. I know in the past I've done a Smokey the Bear one. I did a Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man one. I've done a couple of Star Wars ones. I believe I'm looking at one right now. It's This Is the Way, like 10K I think it was that I did. So all kinds of ones. You can look on places like Virtual Pace Series. Like I said, Run Disney has virtual shorts throughout the year now. They have a fall one, a winter one coming up. I think they might even have a Valentine's Day one, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. They definitely have the summer shorts every year. So it's fantastic. It's genuinely one of my favorite things to do, is to do these virtual races and to do races in general. Because like I said, I love that energy. I love running past a random person and being like, you can do it, or them seeing me starting to have a bad day and struggling, and them giving me that encouragement to keep going and doing it myself. And that even happens when I'm out running the virtual races. I'll see a cyclist run by, or another runner will go by, and there's just this level of camaraderie amongst them. And most of the time, I would say 98% of the time, I say hi to them, they say hi back, and stuff like that. There's just that level of like, all right, we're both kind of got a screw loose out here running, when other people will be like, why? So yeah, I just think they're really fun. If you've done a virtual 5K, let me know in the comments which one you've done. If you've done a race in general, let me know what your favorite race is. I'd love to hear the feedback in the comments on that. But I feel like I'm going a little bit long on this. I do have an update. Be on the lookout for my next challenge that I'm doing. It's the Conquer Challenge. I don't know if you've heard of them. I'll link to them below. They have a series of Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, I think Star Trek now, a couple others, Game of Thrones maybe, a couple other challenges that you can do. And you run the distances and they track you along an app. And I chose to do the Star Wars Death Star Challenge, which has the flight path of an X-Wing through the cavern on the Death Star. So I started that. I will be posting an update on that shortly. It's a very short update. No pun intended, because it'll be a short. But yeah, just signed up for another one. Kept myself going. Want to keep building this momentum with the Devil's Chase coming up. I'm going to do a turkey trot on Thanksgiving, maybe something in December and January, and then by the end of January, come February, we'll have the Disneyland half marathon to do, which I'm super excited for. We're doing my wife and I are both doing the challenge. We're doing the Ahsoka 10K and the Mickey half marathon for the Dumbo challenge they have out there. So just keeping that going, keeping the training up, and keeping it just keep moving forward, literally. So yeah, let me know if you've done virtual races. Do you like them? Do you not? Have you done any other races? Which ones do you recommend? And yeah, let me know in the comments below, and we'll catch you here next time. Thanks.